Hey everybody, it's Rob here. Welcome to the best strategy to level up in Season 7. So there's a couple of new things here. We have a full Excel sheet that I'm going to link below. But first we have to go through some stuff from the season to understand this step-by-step guide all the way into Endgame basically. So there is this new season theme. People call it Purple Helltide, people call it the Witchtide, but there's basically these new areas here on the world map that you can kind of see here, where you can go to finish your Whispers or your Headhunts, and you get a ton of extra monsters, a ton of extra rewards, and just big density in general. And this is very much recommended. You can do this alone, but this is an open world in Diablo 4. Again, you're always together with players you might notice from the Helltide. And you guys can see here, when you finish one of those Whispers, you get these roots here that you can click. So you just finish the Whisper, and then these roots will spawn. And once you click the roots in this Purple Helltide or Witchtide, you are getting a ton of extra monster spawns as well as a ton of loot. And you can see here, this gives you a tremendous amount of XP. And if you do this in a group, you can also take down the bosses. And for every player, it spawns extra roots, completing the Whispers. So, again, you can do this solo and just be in a big, open world, or you just do this in a dedicated group. And this is basically, in my opinion, the best way to level up. There's also some different stuff you can do. You can still do the normal Helltide. However, I definitely recommend, doing this Purple Helltide and then also basically getting the season theme going and the season powers going, basically. So basically what you do, you need your first goal is to get to level 60. Like, this strategy might change a bit, but this is what I believe is going to be the best. So you pick one of the leveling guides. I'm going to make this tier list is not ready yet, but we're going to have a full tier list with planners and step-by-step leveling guides ready here basically, and you can just choose the leveling stuff and just pick one of the guides basically. Then you want to start the game in hard mode. Don't play normal, don't play Pantheon yet. You want to start in hard mode. It's just the best XP difficulty ratio that you can do. You want to create a seasonal character, and then you want to start the game. And first thing is, you go to the wardrobe, you equip your pet. This is going to auto pick up materials and gold for you. There's a little bonus. You pet the kitty, you pet the doggy, and you're going to get some extra best loot. And then if you own the expansion, now the season is free even if you don't have the expansion, but if you do own the expansion, you can grab your mercenary. I've tested this, and as far as I know, you can instantly grab your mercenary because you already did the quest last season and you do not have to do, the campaign again. And I assume that you can grab the mercenary at level 1. If it's a bit later, then grab it as soon as you can. But you just need to travel to the den in Nahatu and get the mercenary, basically. This also is going to keep leveling the mercenary up, and it's going to unlock like extra additional legendary aspect to the bartending. And then the first thing after the mercenary is you want to grab your seasonal quest. Now, this is a variable right from the beginning. You just click the season quest, you progress it until you start earning the witch powers, and you also need to, work towards the reputation and the progression. Usually, this gets you already to level 10, maybe even already level 15. And while you go there, you always want to grab some herbs to craft your first elixir for the XP bonus, or you alternatively do the Raising Spirit quest. It's very easy. You just cheer for the militia in Kiovashat and you get a bunch of herbs, allowing you to craft your first elixir for your first XP bonus. And then after you've done that, you got your mercenary, you got your season quest, you got it progressed, you go into the Witchtide. So you go into this zone here, you see this is always active. I believe there's always 3 zones active at the same time. And you just go there and you start doing the Whispers. Ideally, if you see other players there, which inevitably will happen because you have the open world, just stick with them, stay together, and basically blast the stuff. We also have a Discord channel here with looking for group channels. If you don't want to play alone and you want to join the community, we have LFG channels in the Discord. I'm going to post the link to this sheet, but also the Discord channel below, and you can just go in the same instance, invite each other, and basically benefit a lot from these roots and these extra monster density that you can then slay for a good amount of XP, gold, and I also believe season progression for your witch powers. And it looks like some of these witch powers are very, very strong when you level. So it's hard to say, but they look extremely powerful. You guys can see here, like the orb just orbiting around, and it does a very good amount of damage early on. And you can get and unlock all these kind of witch powers very early on if you just focus, on doing the Witchtides, where you basically get more headhunts and more rewards to get these powers. That can help you level up significantly. We'll see how strong they will be in the final load, because they have also been buffed. And it looks like they also have some decent endgame scaling with your main stat. And there's a ton of powers that also give you some benefits here. For example, like Soul Harvest. Now, we don't know exactly if you're going to get this right from level 1, but there are some definitely powerful stuff. And in the end, you can also get your Forced Occultist Gems, which gives you armor and res from those headhunts. You probably only have, the basic ones, the blue ones at the start, but even there are some pretty cool ones, like if you're doing minions, or here your summons deal 15% extra damage against hexed enemies, and like there's a ton of like very useful benefits here. And you definitely want to be grabbing this, and you basically get everything as you go by just doing Witchtide and the headhunts. Now the next thing is, once you reach, for most classes it's level 15, there is a big quality of life change. Your class quest should be unlocked automatically. So as long as you have done your class quest on any character, even in non-season, in a previous season, whatever, you will have the class quest unlocked or completed automatically when you reach level 15. So basically, if you're like a sorcerer or like a necro, it might be 25, right? But if you're like playing a sorcerer, you reach level 15, you just automatically get your second enchantment slot. So just keep that in mind, and don't forget to actually activate or assign the bonus or the enchantment slot here, right? And then basically you can do this like while you're in the Helltide. Alternatively, you can also run the class quest again to get a cache. However, I would not recommend this. Just stick to the Witchtide and keep blasting there. And I don't think there's like a full break for them. However, you might need to switch zones at the full hour. And once you do that, it's a good opportunity to salvage, min-max your gear a bit, maybe do 1 or 2 dungeons for some aspects like Juggernaut, or I don't know, if you feel like you want more damage, or you want a specific legendary. For example, if you're playing Hoda, I definitely recommend you doing the Sunken Ruins in Scotland here to get the Ancestral Force, to have the Hoda leveling like a lot smoother with the big echo, and also double damage with this against the bosses. And then once you are level, I think it's around 50, because they did nerf the Strongholds a little bit, you can finish and do all the Strongholds. This will not only give you all the waypoints, but also a tremendous amount of XP for each completed Stronghold. And you want to do this in normal mode, because the turn-in XP is the same as in Hard or in Expert or even in Pantheon. So just do this in normal. And you can also do it at 48, but I would recommend 50, because they did nerf it quite a bit, and you really want to be like level 60 after you are done. So you just finish all the Strongholds, easy peasy. Like here's some summoning necro. This is from Oogie Boogie. Like you're just like basically blasting through. You see, this is like normal mode, and everything is just basically getting one shot in these Strongholds. You can do this alone. You can do this with a couple friends if you like. But yeah, summoner necro is another like strong leveling build. So yeah, easy peasy. Just finish the Strongholds. Alternatively, either if you, I don't know, fuck something up, or you go a bit too early, or there's also, in general, another good alternative. If you have the expansion, you can also do a few Kuras Undercity runs. It's actually pretty cool. I did this leveling a druid once, like with Cataclysm. You have these cooldown shrines in the Kuras Undercity that give you a tremendous amount of cooldown reduction boost. And in general, you get a ton of XP in there. And this can also be done if you're missing a level, or if something goes wrong. The Kuras, or you maybe accidentally completed a Stronghold before. The Kuras Undercity is really strong. And it might even somewhat compete with the Strongholds, because you also get a ton of loot at the end. However, I think the safe way is just do the Strongholds. And maybe you want to do 1 or 2 Kuras Undercity runs if you're feeling like experimenting a bit. But then you're basically level 60, and you don't have to do any of the capstone dungeons anymore. All that has been removed if you don't remember, or if you're coming back to the game. So you can just right away go into Torment 1. Once you're 60, you definitely want to change the difficulty. You definitely want to change the difficulty to Pantheon first. You need some temper rolls, imprint your gear. Do a few nightmare dungeons is my recommendation. Get some glyphs going. We also have a bit of a benchmarks here of time. However, this is like an optimistic benchmark if you're playing like efficiently or if you're playing in a group. So don't pay attention too much. This is just like my internal benchmarks and the times that I'm like aiming towards to get here. Like, I definitely get the tempers going, imprint some of your gear, equip runes. This is like if you have the expansion. There's also the tech rune. Like if you get lucky early on and you get the tech rune, which is just a normal blue rune, this one gives you the earthquake, and I think it's very strong even on every class, but especially if you're a barbarian. You can use these earthquakes and do a tremendous amount of damage with the tech rune already from a very early level. But then definitely do 2-3 nightmare dungeons, improve your gear, get the first glyphs, socket in your paragon board. Also, most of these builds have like a, you know, like very cheap out like paragon boards basically that are very easy to assign for you, like with just basically level 1 glyphs. And then, yeah, start doing the pits. And the pits are basically your way of unlocking the additional torment difficulties. So you make your way until pit 20 to unlock torment 1. Then you're basically going into torment 1. You're transitioning into the end game. You can start picking up, you know, one of the end game guides that we have here. I already have a tier list. I'm going to link that below as well. Everything has like basically a build behind it. You can just click it. And it basically transitions you into the end game build. And most of them even have a starter version, for example. So this is without Ubers. Like this is like a Paragon 180 version on the Hoda Barb, for example. And obviously you're not gonna like start right away with all the Ubers. Like you need to get the Ubers, you need to get even some of the uniques potentially. And this might take you some time. But basically the way it works best, either you check on Discord or you check on the party finder in-game. You want to do torment bosses as soon as possible to get your uniques, to then also get, you know, your build-defining multipliers and legendaries going to just basically dominate with the build, basically. And then after that, you keep blasting, you finish the characters, you unlock all the other torment difficulties by keep doing pits. And then if you want to farm paragons, I have a few benchmarks here. I'm expecting, just like last season, the first paragon 300 to be in around 100 hours. Maybe it's going to be less. It definitely can be done in less, but you know, if you want to do torment bosses and stuff, you're not really gaining all too much XP. But don't feel bad. I think for most people, it's going to take like, you know, 150 hours or something, like 2-3 weeks to get to Paragon 300. You might remember the grind. It is definitely, it takes quite some time. But the good thing is, even if you die, you don't lose XP. So it's going to be pretty comfortable, and every monster you kill gets you one step closer to Paragon 300. But again, for most builds, like being Paragon 200, Paragon 250, is just fine. Again, we have the 5 Paragon board cap. So you can only choose a maximum of 5 Paragon boards anyways. And that's basically gonna get you there in the end game when you have 5 boards. Like even with 250 points, you'll be more than fine. But yeah, that's the leveling strategy. Let me know what you think. I have this all listed here, step by step. Sheet is ready. I'm looking forward. I'm most likely going to be playing the Hoda Barb. I also have leveling for that. Going to have a separate video coming out. But yeah, there is a bit of a wild card again, how strong some of these witch powers will be. We don't know for sure. I think some of them are going to be extremely strong and maybe going to be like like a secret weapon during the leveling process, because they have been buffed pretty good, and it's going to basically make for an exciting season. And I definitely recommend doing the Purple Helltide. Hope you enjoyed, my friend. Good luck in the season. It starts tomorrow. Let's go, GG. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.